I'm pissed off. In fact, I'm so pissed off, that's why I'm standing up, because I'm that angry. Some of the shoes that I'm gonna talk about in today's video are some of the worst shoes that I have ever seen in my entire existence. And I'm not just talking about from 1992 to 2022. I'm talking about all the way back to 0 AD. Not BC, because that's a little bit too far, but for the last 2022 years, some of these shoes are some of the worst shoes that I have ever seen. I'm also dressed in my most festive shirt. I know it's a Budweiser shirt, but it's the most festive shirt I have. We're gonna try and keep this video, well, it's not gonna be positive, but as positive as possible with my festive fit. I'm also wearing a festive pair of apothecary socks. They're mismatching because I couldn't find the other side of the pair. As you probably saw from the title of this video, today we are counting down the top 10 worst sneakers of 2022. Now, to be fair, some of the shoes on today's list aren't really sneakers, but they were so bad that I had to put them on today's list. And I know last year I didn't make one of these videos, and that's because I was trying to be more positive on the channel. But this year, there were so many shoes that are just complete garbage, I had to drop this list. To be fair, like 10 through 5 aren't that bad, but 5 through 1, nah, it's next level. It's next level garbage. You have to have a special garbage truck to grab this kind of garbage. Stupid. So starting things off at number 10, we've got the Uggs boot guard. Now, I know that this isn't exactly a sneaker. It's actually something that you put over top of your sneakers, and to be fair, this didn't even release in 2022. However, the trend of people taking Ugg boot guards and putting them over their sneakers took off in 2022. And I was so pissed off about that. When that happened, I even made a video about it, and now I'm just gonna talk about it even more because it pisses me off that much. So the idea of protecting your sneakers from the elements is not a new idea. We've been doing this for years. There have been stickers that you put on the bottom of your shoes so that you can keep the tread of your sneakers looking fresh. They make crease protectors for the toe of your shoes. They make sneaker cleaners. They make all sorts of stuff to keep your sneakers looking fresh. However, this is not something that's even made for your sneakers. This is a literal Ugg boot guard that is made for Ugg boots. That's why it's in the name Ugg boot guard. And people have been taking these Ugg boot guards and putting them over their sneakers to create a monstrosity to a level that I've never seen before. This is, well, to be fair, on some sneakers it actually kind of makes sense because the colorways kind of match sometimes, but in most cases don't do it. It's too much. I mean, TikTok has ruined our society. It's gotten to a point now where if there's a trend on TikTok, people are gonna do it, even if that trend is not a real thing. I can't think of any off the top of my head other than this, but I know within woodworking, there are people doing these crazy woodworking trends that just don't work. In fact, there's this channel that I really like called John Malecki, shout out to John Malecki, where he actually tests the crazy viral TikTok woodworking trends, and most of them don't work. And I think that's actually the case for most TikTok trends, and that's one of the reasons why I hate this so much, because it's a dumb thing that shouldn't have happened, but yet it did, and now it's sweeping the nation. However, to be fair, this may help keep your sneakers looking fresh, at least the bottom half. The top half is gonna look terrible regardless. And I hope someone does do it, because I'd love to see that. If you see it, send me some pictures on Twitter. I'd love to check it out. At Real Seth Fowler on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Yes, I'm part of the problem on TikTok. Coming in at number 9, we've got the Margiela Reebok Classic. So this shoe plays a little dirty because when you look at the side of this shoe, you're like, oh, okay, it's a Reebok Classic. It's a good looking shoe. Maybe it's a Margiela collaboration. That's great. The colors look good. The materials look nice. Awesome. But then if you happen to get a front shot of the shoe, you realize that this shoe has a toe cut in it. For whatever reason, in order to make this Margiela collaboration stand out, they decided to put this giant slit down the middle of your shoe, right in between your big toe and your smaller toes, to make it very uncomfortable to wear. I don't know why anyone would ever do this to yourself. It's like wearing toe shoes without any of the benefits. It's stupid, but for whatever reason, they thought this was a good idea. They could have had the exact same effect by just painting a black line down the center of the shoe without having any of the problems, but they didn't. They decided to go all out and create something unwearable. There are so many things that I want to say about this shoe that'll get me demonetized on YouTube, but if you look at this shoe from the top, you sort of get my drift. Especially in this tan colorway, whew! That is ridiculous. I can't believe this is a real thing. I guess the PC version is it's a butt crack shoe. This is a butt crack shoe, is what this is. Coming in at number 8 is the Jordan 1 High Utility Stash, a shoe that should never have existed anywhere in the world, unless you're 16 years old and make money in unsavory ways.
Stay off the weed.
That's the only way I could see this shoe even making sense. And even then, everyone knows what you're doing. They know what's in those pockets. Also, I get the idea of stash pockets, like that's great, that makes sense on like SBs and shoes that people want to carry around some extra little goodies, but this isn't even subtle. There's nothing about this shoe that is subtle. If you put something in that pocket, like what do you think people are gonna think that it is? And what else would it be? Realistically, you're not gonna put your keys in there. I mean, you could in that back pocket because that back pocket's like a whole nother shoe on the back of your shoe. It looks like the shoe is growing something. I don't know, I just don't get what Jordan Brand was thinking with this. Like, sure, they're trying to push the envelope with an older silhouette that hasn't had a lot of new stuff happen to it in a while, but then they do something like the Lost and Found Ones, which is a great shoe. It's an original colorway with just new packaging and a slightly new take on the original colorway. But this, on the other hand, is the kind of shoe that should never have gone off the drawing board. This is like something you find in like a design student sketchbook, and you're like, Oh, that's something. You drew a shoe. Good job. Now throw that away. I just don't see the appeal. I just don't know what the reason for this shoe is. This literally is more of a 420 shoe than even those crazy grass-looking dunks from back in 2000 and whatever. This shoe is ridiculous. I hate it, and I hate everything about it. And what makes things worse is the colorways that they put on this shoe. What are these colorways? You're making a piece of turd look like an even worse piece of turd. You're making it look like a golden white piece of turd. Like, what is this colorway? What are you doing? Jordan brand. I mean, I guess when you just pump out that many shoes throughout the year, you're gonna have some stinkers. But this is like a pretty easy, like, nah fam. The more that I look at this shoe, the more that I think that they were trying to design a shoe for like climbers or hikers or something like that. To just stash your like, I don't know, your carabiners or whatever the hell you stash. Like, who's gonna wear this anywhere? And also, when you do wear this, you know how the back of your shoe gets dirty whenever you wear a shoe? That bag is gonna get dirty as crap and also rip, probably. So whatever you're stashing in there is gonna fall out and everyone's gonna know. And believe me, if you get pulled over by the cops, they're gonna search your shoes. Like, you think they're not? Like, you think they're gonna see that and not search your shoes? Come on, guys. Number 7, the Oakley Factory Team Flash. Oh my gosh, it's Flesh. I thought it was Flash. That's so much worse. Why did they name it Flesh? I'm not even kidding. I wrote it down in my notes. It's Flash, and it's actually, I typed it in Google and it's Flesh. That's so much worse. Think about that for a second. What is Factory Team Flesh? What do you guys got going on over there, Oakley? What are you doing? So first things first, just looking at this shoe, what are they thinking? I did some research on this shoe and I realized that this shoe is actually not brand new for 2022. This is a collaboration with Braindead that brought this silhouette back. But of all the silhouettes that they could have brought back, why did they bring back this? That is a rough time. And you know what's funny? The only person I can imagine wearing a pair of these shoes is someone who rocks Oakleys on the daily, like rocks Oakleys inside. Like, I'm not talking about like a standard pair of Oakleys. I'm talking about those crazy like wrap around the side of your face Oakleys. Like, that dude is the dude who wears this shoe. And that dude probably is not watching this video. So shout out to that dude for having a life and not just being obsessed with sneakers like I am. It's a problem. But also to that dude, what are you doing, man? Like, I know you think you look good, but what are you doing? I just can't even believe that this is a real shoe in 2022. Sure, maybe it's comfy. It looks like it could be comfy. I shouldn't be hating on it this much, but I don't know if I want to meet the dude who's wearing these. I don't think I do, because now I've pissed him off and he's probably bigger than me, so let's just move on to the next shoe. Coming in at number 6 is the Crocs Mega Crush 711. What is this? Turn the ship around, Captain. We got a barge in the way. I get that Crocs loves doing ridiculous stuff for marketing, because up until recently, what did they have to lose? I mean, sneakerheads wouldn't even admit that they owned a pair of Crocs until the Soleil Crocs came out, and now they just seem to think that they can just do whatever they want and sneakerheads are gonna be into it. To be fair, if I saw this in a store, I would probably buy it, but it's only to make a video like this about how dumb the shoe is. So right off the bat, as you can tell, the shoe is a collaboration with 7-Eleven, already off to a bad start there, and the shoe is pretty much a platform croc, because those are a thing. I mean, the shoe looks like a skidoo. Is it skidoo? Is that what it is? Is it a skidoo? A skidoo? I don't know what it is. This is actually probably the closest I'll ever get to a skidoo. On one hand, I understand what they're doing. I get it. You're trying to create the most ridiculous thing so that you get attention, and yes, they got the attention that they wanted, but what I'm worried about is the person who buys a shoe to wear it. Who is that person? Where are you? I don't want to meet you. Stay away from me, please. Now, to be fair, Crocs did send me the KFC Crocs. In fact, I'll grab them for you guys and show you. They've got a chicken wing on top, which is ridiculous. Plus, they also smell like chicken. They don't actually, but they say that they smell like chicken. They actually smell just like rotting chicken. So I guess I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite because I do own some crazy Croc that was made specifically for marketing purposes, but this shoe is a million times worse. This shoe has a slushie on it. There is a slushie sticking off the top of this shoe. And you know what? I can see some short dude buying this shoe, shout out to the Short Kings, to wear it to increase his height. And while yes, I do think that's, you know, admirable of him, they're gonna look at you, they're gonna be like, oh, he's a nice height, and then look at your shoes and be like, nah. I don't know what that was, but that's the sound that women make when they don't like you. I've heard it a lot. And to pay $85 to put something like this on your feet, you were just asking for ridicule. Oh, no way. It's $110. And most of the sizes are sold out. This is like, it's a lot of mental energy going into this right now. This is a bit too much. And since we're about halfway through, I do want to take a break and talk about something positive. And that is the brand new Apothecary wool socks that just dropped on apothecary.com. Link in the description below. Apothecary is my sock brand. We strive to make the best socks ever. There's some positivity for you. And this wool collection is absolutely fire. In fact, it's made of merino wool. It's one of the most premium pairs of socks we've ever made. It wicks away sweat. It's perfect for the winter because it's incredibly warm. And it comes in 4 different fire colorways. Plus, it makes a great gift for you or your loved ones. So if you want to grab one of the brand new merino wool Apothecary socks, they're linked in the description below right now. Coming in at number 5 is the Nike Dunk Low CPFM Overgrown. Now I feel like a lot of people knew that this shoe was going to be on the list. It was literally a shoe-in. Should get that to myself. But I genuinely think there's a case to be made that this shoe is not as awful as it seems. Can't even say it with a straight face. This shoe sucks. No, I mean, I really think if you do some work on this shoe, you shave it down, it's just an all green furry Nike Dunk. I get it. There's a way to save this shoe, but the fact that you have to do that to your shoe in order to make it look good is ridiculous to me. So this shoe has been very fittingly nicknamed the Grinch CPFM Nike Dunk Lows, which I get. It looks like a Grinch foot. But the problem that I have with this shoe is that this shoe was only specifically made to grab people's attention and to get people talking. It's not a shoe that I think anyone will ever wear in their daily lives. And it's the kind of shoe that I know all the contrarians out there are gonna love because they're like, oh no, it's actually dope because there's this crazy story behind it. Or oh no, it's actually dope because if you shave it, whatever. Sure, like whatever you want. That's fine. I'm not telling you what not to like. I mean, I am kind of a little bit, but not really. This shoe is not only ridiculous looking, but again, the amount of work that you have to put into this shoe to actually make it look anything wearable or decent is stupid. And I get that all press is good press, sure, whatever. I understand what CPFM is doing here, but come on guys. It's sold out too. This shoe actually fits a size, if not 2 sizes small. So not only are you grabbing a shoe that you have to actually shave to look good, but you're also grabbing a shoe that most likely won't fit you, because who thinks that they won't fit a pair of Dunks? Like, who actually thinks that? Like, if you own a couple pairs of Dunks, you know how they fit. Why is CPFM making this shoe have such just a high barrier to entry that most people will buy the shoe, realize it doesn't fit, have to sell it or trade it for their size? And why you do that to people, man? That's ridiculous. There is so much going on with this shoe that makes it so much worse than it is, and if they just dropped this shoe and it fit okay and it was already shaved down, sure, it's a fine release. But making people pay $190 to actually spend like a day of their life researching the shoe to figure out the right size, shaving the shoe down to make it wearable, and then having to throw out all this ridiculous hair that they produced, it's just stupid. It's stupid to me. And oh my god, the people who are gonna wear this shoe unshaved, oh, I know that those people exist. I know that they're out there. It's like those horse Adidas forums from last year. It's a fashion statement, that's all it is. And while yes, I understand that, sure, it's fine, it's art, whatever, it's just like, don't buy it. But the fact that people are buying these is crazy to me. They should name the brand CPF me, right? And because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take my money and create something awful and then make me look stupid. Number 4, the Balenciaga Crocs rain boot. So to give you guys a heads up, Crocs and Balenciaga are gonna be on this list again. In fact, Crocs is on this list like 3 different times. But this shoe truly is one of the weirdest and quite possibly worst collaborations I've ever seen. First of all, I'm not even gonna get into Balenciaga because what they did recently is so insane and just messed up that like all their shoes should be at the top of this list. It just ruins the brand for me and for I think anybody. And again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, do some of your own research on it. It's a very heavy and dark topic, not one that I at all want to get into. Setting that aside, I think that not only is this shoe associated with Balenciaga, but this shoe is also just an insanely ugly piece of footwear. And again, it's $900. It's $900 for a Croc rubber boot that still has the impressions or like the divots of those little holes that you find on the top of Crocs. You can buy black rubber boots for like 25 bucks that look just like this and probably work better than these. Or instead, you could wear a $900 pair of Crocs boots. I also love the fact that they call the top part of the boot the shaft. It says on the website that it's got an approximately 11.75 inch shaft. Come on, man. What are you doing? Next up at number 3, we've got the Nike Air Force 1 Lover XX slip-on. It's crazy to me that Nike created a shoe worse than the Balenciaga boot. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. And I don't even understand why this exists. And I'll be honest with you guys, if you see these shoes from a distance, it doesn't look that bad. It's not like these 7-Eleven Crocs, which you can see from a mile away, and you know something's wrong with that dude over there. These, on the other hand, it's like, okay, that girl over there's rocking some slip-ons. That's kind of cool. But then you get close and you're like, oh, those are Air Force Ones. This is one of those designs that's baffling to me. While I don't think overall it's the worst looking shoe on this list, it's obviously not number 1 on the list, but it's also probably aesthetically better looking than some of the other shoes on the list. It's the concept that gets me. That's the problem that I have with this shoe. Who looked at the Air Force 1 and said, that could be a slide? Obviously someone did because they made it. I actually kind of think of these shoes the same way that I think about those Jordan foam shoes. Actually, those probably should have been on this list, but I honestly forgot about them until right now, so they're not. Maybe they're also number 3. Let's throw them up there really quick. These are also number 3. Again, they don't look terrible. It's the concept. It's like, why are you doing this? You're only doing this because other people are doing this and it looks dumb. They're just creating a worse version of something that's already out there and trying to infuse their heritage and their history into whatever design it is, and it just doesn't work. There's just no situation in which I can see myself picking this over a regular pair of slides. Like, I'm sure that there are people out there who like these shoes, and I'm not trying to diss those people because unlike a lot of the other shoes on this list, they're not horrible. And again, maybe I put them in the wrong spot on the list. Number 3 might be a little bit too high. But either way, I feel like the fact that we're getting a shoe that's this much of an offender from a brand that's this big, Nike, come on guys. Come on, guys. Woo! But now we got to the heavy hitters. Number 2. At number 2, we've got the Balenciaga Crocs Madame Mules. Man, Crocs really did that. They really did that. They really worked with Balenciaga and made a Crocs heel. And it's funny because honestly, Crocs probably did most of the work for this design. I mean, the entire shoe is essentially a Croc that's been bent with a little piece of metal sticking up through the bottom. It's mostly a Croc shoe, and somehow Balenciaga is getting all the credit for it. To be fair though, I'm sure Crocs would prefer that they get the credit for it because it looks like this. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. 625 bucks. 625 bucks. Literally take a pair of Crocs and just stick a pencil in it. And there you go, it's the same thing. Oh my God, I can't even believe it. And it's green. It's green. It's a green Croc. You're wearing a green pair of Croc heels. Maybe it's because I'm 30. Maybe once I hit 30, I started to think things are stupid. But come on, guys. The official stats on the website say ventilated rubber upper with rubber sole. It's made of rubber. Also, if you were wondering, it's not like a cast Croc or something. It's actually literally a Croc. Wow, that's crazy. To me, and I think most people, Crocs have always been a brand that you wear for comfort, not so much for style. Again, that's changing because of people like Salehi who are creating awesome pairs of Crocs that don't even honestly even look like Crocs. They're something different completely. It's like a whole nother like sub-brand within the brand. This, on the other hand, is taking the classic Croc and making a piece of designer footwear out of it that's $700. Well, $625, but either way, it's all too much. It could have been $2 and it would have been too much. Why would someone do this to themselves? Why would they walk into a store of their own free will, see this sitting on the shelf, and be like, yup. I mean, sneakerheads get a lot of crap for sneakers that we buy. We buy a lot of stupid looking shoes just because of the hype. But this isn't even hyped, guys. You are paying $625 for something you can make yourself with something that you probably already have in your house. Because let's be honest, a lot of us are Croc owners, even if you don't want to admit it, and you could do this yourself, no problem, with no issues, and you would create something that's just as ugly. In fact, it might even be better looking because at least it's homemade, and you don't have the burden of knowing that you spent $625 plus tax on something like this. Plus it's Balenciaga, and Balenciaga sucks. I'm just trying to prepare myself for this next segment because it's really going to take all my energy to look at this thing and talk about this thing because it is truly, truly, truly a masterpiece in garbage. To be fair, it actually looks like a piece of garbage. It actually does. Finally, at number 1, we've got the completely destroyed Balenciaga Paris High. This shoe is literally offensive on so many levels to so many different people, and I'm not going to get into it because I think it's obvious why for most of those things, but what the actual... It's things like this that genuinely make me think that designer brands are sometimes out there to troll, to see how far they can push their products into the realm of stupidity and yet still get thousands of dollars from their customers. It's literally insanity to me, and I know this video is kind of like a jokey video, haha, but looking at this, I'm genuinely angry. Like, what is this? Obviously, the Balenciaga Crocs collaboration is total crap. It's total crap, and that's fine, I guess. I mean, it's not, but it's fine. This, though, is like, it's just purely Balenciaga creating something that should never have been created. It's like I'm malfunctioning. Like, it's crazy to me that this is real. How is this real? How is this? Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my gosh. This shoe is $1,800, $1,850. You believe that? You believe that? 1,850 bucks. What? For this segment of the video, I've been standing here for like 5 minutes trying to think of what to say because I'm clouded by my anger right now. We've had pre-distressed shoes before, and that's fine. Like, I don't love them, but it's fine. Like, it's a thing. It happens, it exists. But to take that to just this level of something that's genuinely probably not even wearable. Like, you could probably get 2 or 3 wears out of this. Like, in my head, I'm thinking the durability of this shoe is similar to that of like a fast fashion t-shirt. You wear it once or twice, once you wash it, it starts to get holes in it, it starts to wear out, it just shrinks or whatever. It doesn't last very long at all. But yet with a t-shirt like that, even though sure, it's not like the best thing in the world, at least you're paying not too much for it. This, you are paying $1,800 for it, and you're getting something that you could probably only wear a couple times. Like, this is the peak of consumerism. Like, this is truly like, I'm only buying this because of the name on the shoe. That's the only reason. And I'm not even getting at people who like the distressed look because I get that, I understand it. I wear distressed jeans, that's fine. But buy a pair of Converses and distress them yourself. It's not that hard. Or wear them for a year. And they could look like this if you run through mud puddles. I don't know. It's hit a new low. It genuinely has. And I really haven't been this angry about a shoe for a long time because even with the previous videos, we were looking at a lot of designer shoes. But like with some of the previous Balenciaga shoes, at least there was something different about them. They looked like they were just a couple different shoes mashed together, but they never looked like actual trash. This is actual garbage in every sense of the word, and I hate it. And it absolutely deserves to be the worst shoe of the year. Just get it out of here. I don't even want to, I just want to end the video now. I'm sorry. Sorry.